What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, and yeah, we're doing this again. I did not think I would be doing this again so soon, but here we are. There has been way too much stuff going on in terms of Magic and Commander over the past couple of weeks, and you know, some people might be like, "Oh, that's exciting! You get a lot of stuff to talk about." I don't like this. I don't like that. Like every second, something crazy is happening, and I have to constantly be paying attention to the internet and Discord or whatever, and what's happening. Not a fan. So in any case, yeah, we're here to talk about the announcement from Wizards of the Coast in response to everything that has been going on with the recent Commander ban list and the Commander Rules Committee. So first of all, I want to start off by saying, go ahead. Sorry, this person's trying to get out. There we go. So first off, I want to start by saying that, again, all of the threats going on towards the RC are completely inappropriate, holy moly. And as we'll talk about in this video, like that, you can see what is the result of that. So again, completely having the opposite effect that people want those kinds of threats to have. So again, just even if they were effective, don't do them, but they're also just not effective. So yeah, just absolutely ridiculous. And again, shame on anyone doing that. So anyways, let's talk about the actual announcement. So essentially, Wizards addresses these threats going on towards their people. I guess, sorry, not Wizards of the Coast specifically, but again, they do care about. I would say they care about the Commander RC in the sense that they want. I would imagine they have wanted the Commander RC to exist in its form. Again, assuming you're not putting on your tinfoil hats. In that they liked the Commander format being a commander, or a community run format, and yeah, so they addressed hey, the RC is receiving tremendous amount of threats, and obviously are condemning and reporting and doing everything that they should for these threats. But unfortunately, again, the Commander RC still does not feel safe to do their jobs, and no one should blame them for that. So yeah, it's just a really tragic. And so basically, the Commander RC asked Wizards of the Coast for assistance in this. And so the result of this is that Magic announced that they will be taking over custody of control of the Commander format from the Rules Committee, which is a super shocking announcement. Again, even Magic is acknowledging that it was a community-run format, a community-focused format, and Commander, in pretty much its entire lifetime, had been kind of, separate from being controlled by Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast. And that was nice. It kind of felt like, again, while they released product, the format belonged to the community, and I kind of liked that aspect. And while, yes, they were bans were a recommendation, and as long as you kind of did something like that, you could kind of do your own thing. Again, immediately, in this announcement, Wizards of the Coast trying to make it seem as though they are gonna adhere to that, or kind of not try to mess with that so much. But I don't know exactly how that's gonna play out. Again, a lot of people really having radical reactions to this. At least the majority of people. I think some people have a nice head on their shoulders, if that's the saying. Saying, oh, maybe Wizards of the Coast will do better with it, and they will have some good things to do with it. I will be honest and say I'm not that optimistic, especially given the system that they proposed, or at least the concept of the system that they proposed so far. Again, which I'll get to. So I'm not that optimistic about what they will do with the format. But in terms of the format continuing to be a community focused format, hopefully that continues. Again, they acknowledge that is a thing that is core to the Commander format, and again, they don't seem to have an intent to change that, at least according to their announcement. But again, it will no longer be a community-run format, which I think is quite unfortunate. And again, part of that comes from the community being bad. I don't know how else to put it. And so unfortunately, this is why we can't have nice things, because again, when we are a self-run format, this is what happens. There's all this disorganization and dysfunction. So yeah, in terms of bannings, again, those bannings are now going to come from Wizards of the Coast. They've acknowledged, though, again, still that they do not plan to reverse the bannings. The recent ban announcement, that was the kind of catalyst for this whole thing. So again, the bad actors in this situation are still not going to get their way. I don't think they ever were. I think all the people like me and even the EDH people who are upset with the fact that some of their cards get banned are just kind of moving forward. They're just kind of saying, all right, that happened. What can we do about it? What next? Or what can we do in response, right? Or as a result. So, yeah. So yeah, all of that is again, super unfortunate, and again, especially given that this was the result of some really stupid people. But again, there's nothing we can do about it at this point. Again, I'm not going to say we should obviously you can't force the RC to not do this or to continue putting themselves in danger. I definitely think that we need to take their safety into concern, and yeah. So that being said, the bans are going to come from Wizards of the Coast in the future, I would imagine. That being said, they did mention, again, they weren't really super good on specifics. They said that they would still get input from I guess the people that were formerly in the RC, and maybe other people, the people who were formerly in the Commander Advisory Group, or people who maybe would have been in a Commander Advisory Group. It's really unclear to me exactly what role those kinds of entities would have now. Again, given that those people don't work for Wizards of the Coast, so I would imagine they're not gonna Wizards of the Coast is not gonna pay them to pay attention to the format. But again, maybe if they are just consulting or offering up advice, maybe Wizards of the Coast will just listen about what's going on in the format. I don't really know. They were not very, I will say, for how much they wanted to acknowledge and kind of prevent people from flipping out about how they're running the format now. They did, but it's still going to be community based. They did not share a lot of specific as to how that would happen, how that would be happening. So that's what I'd like to see in the coming future. But yeah, in terms of again, for me with Wizards of the Coast, my issue is not what they announce; it's how they announce it. A whole bunch of things about Explorer versus Pioneer. The digital only cards from Alchemy, and all of these other things. Just, it's not what they announce; it's how they announce it, and the types of details that they choose to share, and the ones that aren't, the details that just aren't quite ironed out yet. That being said, again, in this case, it definitely seemed to be a rushed announcement. This, again, seemed to be a last-minute decision. Again, some people are, going really, really crazy with all the tinfoil hatting and, saying, oh, the death threats are fake. The death threats are not fake. They're very real. The people freaking out, we've seen them. but like, saying, oh, this was planned, the freak out was planned so that they did this ban, and so then the Wizards of the Coast could take over the format. Like, again, why would this entity that has absolutely no connection to Wizards of the Coast do this? It just, and again, none of it makes sense. It's all really stupid. Anyone like sharing any of these tinfoil hats, conspiracy theories. So, anyways, I'm not even gonna continue talking about that. I just wanted to mention that, of just like, it's really, really stupid. Again, even that's not the people sending death threats, but the people, again, going crazy. I think it's still really, really funny, and funny and sad, I guess is how I'll put it. But in any case, my issue has always been the way that Wizards of the Coast makes their announcements. If I were them in this situation, I would definitely have still, again, addressed the threats, and again, that was definitely a very good thing to explain, like, the reasoning for why this is happening now. And I kind of just would have been very careful and just said, hey, this is happening. We want to keep people safe. We're going to take over. We'll let you know about further details in a coming announcement, which I think is fine. They chose to kind of give a little bit of a teaser almost about the types of changes or types of oversight that they were planning to implement in the format. And one of the things was a point system for evaluating cards and decks. Again, I'm going to come out and say I already don't like this system. Again, they haven't fully explained or fully deliberated the system, but just in the example that they gave, I don't like it. So I'm going to be fully honest about that ahead of time here. But yeah, so essentially, the system is a scale from 1 to 4, and again, 1 being the lowest power, 4 they quoted being high power. So again, also the EDH people very upset that there was no mention of that in this power scaling. So that was really annoying. And again, also some of the examples that they give for 4 were not up to par. So in any case, and again, maybe, again, this is just the announcement of the system. Again, they did not actually implement it, or, we don't know the full details. So again, I'm trying to give them some leeway here. But again, from what I've heard of this, of what I've read and what I've talked about with this system, I don't like it. So yeah, scale of 1 to 4, and then the scale is based off of the cards in your deck. So a card is given an evaluation of 1 to 4, or I think that's what they said. Again, maybe they were talking about like how like 1 was lower, like really, really lower powered and pre-constructed, but then in order to be considered one of the higher tiers, you would have specific cards that were included in your deck, and that would indicate that it's a 3 or a 4. So, some of the examples that they gave were, Source to Plowshares, Grave Titan, and Cultivate were kind of more on the 1 power level scale. And I actually think that all of those are fine, right? In terms of how they were evaluated. I think Source of Plowshares, like single target removal in the more casual space, is definitely less and less powerful. But what was I gonna say? Well, there's just a dude in the street, Florida. Yeah, Grave Titan, is a powerful card, but again, not an incredibly overbearing especially in the casual space. So the 1 power level rated cards, I don't have, it's not that I have an issue with how those cards are rated, but then when you get to the 4 level, they talk about cards like Vampiric Tutor, Grim Monolith, which I'm like, okay, those are, high power level cards. Those definitely belong there. And then Armageddon. So Armageddon is not a high powered card in the sense that, again, it is seeing play at the highest level tables. It is just an annoying card. So this is where we get into that classic conversation about, we used to have way back in the day, we used to have the 1 to 10 power ranking, and people used to say their deck was a 7, when again I think most people would actually view it as a 5, and then all those things would be messed up, and we very quickly as a community acknowledged, hey, this is not a good system. Let's not do this. And so that very quickly, is viewed as not an effective system for evaluating decks, and people tried to again have a different system for viewing them. So, for a little while there was the discussion of, again, the turn 0 discussion, but also in adding onto that, saying, what kind of gameplay experience do you want to have? Do you want a fast gameplay experience? Do you want a slower gameplay experience? Do you want an interactive gameplay experience where we're countering and doing things to other people's cards? Or do you kind of want to, let everyone do their thing and, just kind of interact in combat or whatever? So, it's clear to me, I think it's clear to everybody that a point system, it should be clear to everyone, I guess I should say, that a point system or that kind of tiered system does not work. And it's disappointing to see this kind of system from Wizards of the Coast. Again, they acknowledge, like, in their video, they're like, is this a perfect system? No. My response is, it's not even a good system, so why do it in the first place? I just think that you should be encouraging people, again, kind of like a community-run format, to be having that kind of discussion. Again, I'm not against categorizing cards as, high-powered. But actually, the funny thing is, now we've kind of lost one of those core cards. I kind of viewed Mana Crypt as the quintessential CEDH card, where if you had that in your deck, that was a sign that you were trying to compete, or trying to play at a higher power level. So one of the things that they don't mention is some of the combos like Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, or the Underworld Breach combo. So I don't know how they plan to kind of talk about those types of combinations in decks, right, where again, most of the cards are low powered, and those cards aren't necessarily broken on their own, but when you combine them together, they're very powerful. So again, I don't like the system. They talk about how, like, you can talk about how you say, if your Ancient Tomb, is a 4, but you're just using it in your deck to be tomb themed. That was like the quote, which I thought was really funny, that they thought of a tomb themed deck. You could say, oh, my deck has Ancient Tomb, but it's a 2 without Ancient Tomb. Again, I still don't like that, because again, in some cases there could still be cards that are high enough powered that even if they're put in a deck that's not fully built around them, when they're drawn in a game, they'll tend to still be really powerful. So again, think of a card like Dockside Extortionist. Dockside Extortionist is still banned, but there could be other cards like it that are just as polarizing when they come into play. So if I were Wizards of the Coast, I would have not announced this system in this announcement, because if they had just announced, hey, we're taking over the Commander format, we're gonna be doing some things, I would have gone like, okay, cool, we'll see what happens. But with this announcement, I'm pretty not excited for any of the changes that they'll implement, given that this is the first idea that they proposed. Again, maybe they don't do it, maybe they change it or whatever, but if those are the types of changes that they are planning on implementing, I'm not excited, and I would be very wary of what they're gonna do. That being said, do I think like they're gonna like, you know, make this into like a tournament format, or like make it into like anything other than it's not? No, at least not the core aspect of it. But yeah, I think if this, again, I'm not excited about this particular change, and again, that's making me wary of what they might do in the future. What exactly that is, again, I don't know, and again, I don't want to like go around scaring people. I'm not saying, oh, run for the hills, Commander's dead. That's not what this video is about. But more of just, again, making people aware of this change and saying, you know, hey, you know, I'm a little bit concerned about what Wizards of the Coast might do with the format. So anyways, a lot of stuff happening in Magic and in the Commander format over the past couple of weeks. So again, been very busy. Just got back from a little trip back with my folks. So again, a little bit occupied, but I will hopefully be back to regular videos at some point in the future. So in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this weird video format. Hopefully the audio is a little bit better. I kind of fiddled with some things in my car to hopefully make it a little bit more agreeable. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Again, I'll be back to normal videos soon, and yeah, we'll see you guys real soon. Bye.